The year's 1879, but the history's not our own. Everything changed on July 3rd, 1863, during the Battle of Gettysburg. The dead rose up, the shadows darkened, and a reckoning had begun. Humanity's worst nightmares now walked the waking world. Everything seemed to be headed to hell in a handbasket. Humanity, however, is more resilient than the terrors expected. A secret war began between the darkness and those who would stand against it. A few sturdy folks from all walks of life, from school moms to nuns, from snake oil salesmen to steadfast soldiers, and children to old coots, have risen up to stand between their fellow humans and creatures born in the very pits of hell. Some were fated to fall, but others stood firm. For the next hour or so, sit back and listen to the stories of horror and heroism, recounting of the sacrifices these unsung heroes have made. Enjoy these tales from the Deadlands. Be warned, however, these tales are not for the faint of heart.
Hello, and welcome once more to the Knights of the Smith Dinner Table actual play production of Tales from the Deadlands. Brought to you by our favorite coffee brand, Poppets Coffee. If you love great coffee, head on over to poppetscoffee.com and get yourself a nice bag of some amazing beans. So, you guys know what episode this is?
What?
30?
I was going to guess 69, but I'm like, we're not that far.
No, we're not quite that far. But we are at episode 30. So, seems kind of fitting that we started on a very sad note. You know, because Charles is dead.
It's true.
Jeb took a long walk off of a short cliff and ended up in the belly of a maze dragon. Daisy's alive, if you can call it that. And what remains of the posse gathers up, well, at least Charles's remains, saddles up, and heads back to Shanfan. The long, sad ride. You guys had already decided that you were taking Chuck's body with you. Charles's body. See, this is what happens when I listen to Daisy too much.
Yeah. Put some respect on his name. He's dead, damn it.
He is indeed dead. But so is Jeb.
We didn't know him very well, so that's...
I mean, there is that. There is definitely that.
I did.
I didn't know him at all.
And
maybe I killed him.
It takes you guys about 8 hours of just, because you already had the horses ran hard once. You don't want to run them hard again. So it takes you about 8 hours to get yourselves back to the Sunrise Hotel. And as you make your way in, it's pretty easy for you guys to find a place to put Charles's body. I mean, the Rolling Restaurant seems like a fitting place to store him for the moment.
We're not going to eat him.
No, but you can store him in that wagon for the moment.
I'd say Charles would have hated that. Think of all the contaminated food.
I don't think he should be there.
Well, where would you put him?
Putting him in there is with the food, and we need to sell the food so that we can keep the wagon going.
I mean, considering where you're at,
Food
and
is
depending on
important.
which part of California you're in, he could be food.
I thought we were far enough away from Los Angeles.
No, you're still in the maze.
Chuck's not food.
So where do you want to stow his body?
Do we have like an underground or under the wagon?
The wagon is in an
Place?
underground, like for lack of a better term, garage.
No, not like underground. Like a secret hatch we could hide him in.
You want to hide him in the floorboards.
Yeah.
Of the wagon.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there was a secret compartment in there or not.
There was not.
I didn't think so.
I think Chuck told me there was one. It was a side conversation we had.
We had, or Daisy had,
With Chuck.
and Chuck was just off to the side nodding his head.
Maybe.
I mean, he
I think-
does have an icebox compartment. You would just have to take the meat out.
There's no meat in there right
Oh,
now.
wait,
Come
yeah,
on
there is
now.
no meat in there.
That's why they were hunting a bear.
There
We
is the
found the
head of
bear.
a bear in the wagon.
Yeah, you could shove him in the icebox with the head of the bear.
Let's do that. That sounds good. Chuck would be
Perfect.
very upset if we put him in the with the regular food though.
So you have to pull the head of the bear out and you slide his body in, and you have to kind of finagle the bear's head back in on top of him. The good news is he's wedged in pretty good.
Is the bear facing Chuck?
Or
is the bear like laying on top facing upwards?
it's not facing upwards.
Or
Like
did,
is it like locked eyes with him, like the way Daisy shoved it in there?
or
Let's,
did Daisy
well,
put,
wait, Daisy shoves it in, so yes, it is locking eyes with him.
I was gonna say, or did Daisy put the bear head on Chuck's head?
I mean that's fair.
I wouldn't do that.
Yes, you would.
100% would.
No, I think she would just haphazardly shove it back in there so it's making eye contact with Chuck.
It's fair. But even in death, I still don't get credit for killing the bear. God damn.
All right, I'm gonna put away my Witchfire dice.
Oh, because you don't have any players to kill this session?
Well, I mean, if my dice go to shit, I'll get them back out, but
I don't think you should.
I'll get my official Deadlands dice out.
The Norse
And-
Foundry ones?
Yes, the Norse Foundry official Deadlands dice. I mean, I don't know if you can see.
Ooh, yes.
Got the nice little steer's head on it.
I'm pulling out my official Norse Foundry Knights of the Smith dinner table dice.
Never pull out.
No comment.
I'm gonna just ignore that you said that. We're a high class program here, James. We don't need any of your lowbrow humor this evening.
Hey, I'm allowed to cut loose on this show because there are some nights I love running Necessary Evil on the PEG channel, but there are some nights where it physically hurts me to have to hold in what I really want to say because we got to keep it PG-13.
I work in customer service. I just put myself in halfway at work mentality.
All right, I'll
All
shut
right.
up. I'm dead.
Yeah, shut up. Okay, so Daisy, you get him pushed in with the bear's head. You're the only one who can really crawl in there with him.
I'm not
to get
crawling
it
in there with him.
Well, to get the bear's head in, you have to kind of lean up in and shove it up in there.
No. I'm not moving that stuff. I'm just a little girl. I don't do stuff like that.
I mean, you gonna make Cole do it?
Or that other person who I don't know.
She's been busy being sad.
Put her to work. That might make her happy.
Daisy is such a horrible person.
And she's not even sad about Chuck.
Starla will help her, but yeah, she's rather downcast.
As you guys finish up down in the stables, the underground stables. That was the word I couldn't think of earlier.
Underground stables is what you couldn't come up with.
Yeah, I said garage.
Words are hard.
Words are hard. So as you
Go
finish up in the underground stables and you head up towards the suites that you are currently sharing with Sir Pennington Smythe and Mr. Dillinger, you open the door and you step in, and sitting around the table, you see Sir Pennington Smythe, Mr. Dillinger, and you see one other gentleman sitting at the table who looks up at the rest of you as you enter. And he looks a little odd. Let me show everyone who can see. For those of you listening, he's an older gentleman, not quite elderly. His face is badly disfigured from burns on the left-hand side and up on his nose. He wears some tinted spectacles that kind of hide his eyes. And he has a long trench coat and an old fedora on. And he's sitting at the table with the two gentlemen that you guys all already know. And as the three of you enter, go ahead and give me notice checks.
Okie dokie. And is it bad I tried to spin the character model to get a side view of it? I clicked
That's
on it
just
and I
totally
tried to
bad.
move it.
I went
like-
to pick up dice, so
What am I clicking on? I'm sorry.
Notice?
And I apologize. Our son just got home.
Got Cole coming in with the success. Let's see what Starla and Daisy do.
Yeah, just barely success.
I
I
just
need to
heard-
go.
I just heard Daisy's dice rumble hard.
In a hurry.
Yeah, barely success because I need to go get this wound taken care of as soon as we get settled and rested for a little bit.
Oh, and
I
Starla's
think I
coming in.
noticed.
So all three of you notice that he is also wearing one of the signets of the Twilight Legion.
What's that?
And what's that? The
Yeah.
Twilight Legion is the group that you guys are currently working for. And
I've had a lot going on, and since
you have bad dreams,
no
people
heart.
ripping your heart out. Kind of feels like something's wriggling around inside your guts on occasion.
That's just because Chuck hasn't made any food for me lately.
So as you enter, Sir Smythe and Dillinger both, welcome. And Dillinger takes the lead and says, well, friends, I see that you were successful in rescuing Miss Daisy. And where is
Mostly successful. As you can see, we have Daisy, and I kind of like wave my hand in front of like my throat, like don't say anything.
okay. He raises an eyebrow and says, all right, where is Mr. Wagner? And where is Jeb?
We think Jeb went off the cliff.
You're cutting in and out really hard, Maple.
Okay, let's try this again. It may have been my voice cutting in
that's
and
better.
out.
Yeah.
Very low. Starliz, we think Jeb went off a cliff. There were tracks, but no sign of him.
Oh, that is truly saddening, my friend. Jeb was a good man,
He
and
was.
the movement shall miss him.
Chuck's in the wagon.
So to speak.
Chuck's in the wagon.
Why is Mr.
He
Wagner
is.
in the wagon?
It doesn't matter.
He's
I'm gonna like glare at Starla. And I'm gonna kind of kick Cole a little bit.
Ah,
kick my shin.
Yeah.
perhaps he shall join us later.
Mm,
He's in the wagon.
Okay.
we'll leave it at that for now.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So, I trust all matters with
It's all good.
and the elder Landry who's looking for you.
She's no more.
We took care of that too.
I'm
ready to go.
Very well then. I would recommend that.
I'm gonna walk away, and there's like seating, right?
Yes, yes.
I'm gonna like go under tables and like look for stuff that might have fallen out of people's pockets. And
Look for the cat.
yeah, I miss my cat, or well, the cat that I didn't know we had.
He Smythe motions for the other two of you to have a seat and says, well, is it a shame to lose such stalwart members of the Legion as Mr. Wagner and Jeb? Let me introduce you to one of our other members. And he motions towards the new guy. This is Dr. Excelsius, Stanley Excelsius. Doctor?
Hold on, we never said Chuck died.
I read between the lines, young lady.
I'm not. This is out of character. I'm just
Oh.
informing you.
I know you didn't.
We
But
did.
these guys have not lived as long as they have by being dumb.
He's pretty dumb.
Dave, you there?
Yeah, I just didn't want to talk over because Daisy had a point.
Yeah, that's valid. Well, I shall let Dr. Excelsius further introduce himself.
Greetings. I find that I don't have many words to give you as condolence for those I haven't met. I do offer what sympathies I have to you to have come so far, but have to leave those behind. I am simply here to do whatever I can to assist with my meager belongings as they are, and what sharpness I still have in my mind. Please don't mind the injuries. They happened long ago, and I assure you they won't be a problem.
Looks like it was quite an adventure you had.
Well, as it may be, unfortunately, I had my first experiment. I was very, very enthusiastic with my application of fire to the rock. And I very quickly learned just how much more flammable it is than coal. You might say that fundamentally I was baptized by fire. And when he says that last bit, he's actually looking at what you now realize is a hand, but it's not flesh. His left hand appears to be something else.
Indeed.
Well, be as it may, it's good to have you aboard.
I aim to be as useful as I can be.
I do hope your further experiments don't go as badly as that first one ever again. And Starless thinking, especially if I'm around.
Well, I would certainly hope that Mr. Smythe and Dillinger would not allow me to ply my trade with such as yourselves if I wasn't adequate to the task.
Neither of them say anything. They are very astutely maintaining that British stiff upper lip. And then Smythe speaks up and says, well, be all that as it may, it is rather late in the afternoon. And I have, in your absence, managed to figure out a portion of what comes next for you.
Really?
So, and he looks at Cole and Daisy and says, those marks that you have that you received while rescuing me from the whaling hole, they are ancient native runes, if I may be so bold. I do believe I know someone who can help us figure out what they are, and more importantly, what they do other than cause earthquakes when you touch blood to the actual rune that's carved into whatever, in that case, stone. So, Sam Hellman, whom the two of you should remember, the gentleman that you rescued from the rock,
Mm-hmm.
he was able to learn that a gentleman by the name of Seas Far Ahead, the founder of the Necessity Alliance, which is a smaller organization very similar to the Sioux or the Coyote Confederation, but it's primarily here on the West Coast. We believe he is the one you will need to ask about these symbols, as he's been in the area the longest. He's one of the oldest of the Indians, as they are colloquially called. The issue is that we are not exactly sure where the Necessity Alliance is currently based, just that they're here somewhere in the maze. We got a couple of options that we could look at. We can rent you a maze runner and you can just search for it. Although that might take a while. You might be able to find it with the help of a guide as well. But that comes with its own problems. The
Indeed.
other thing you could do is check at Lion's Roar. It's one of the Chinese towns under the control of Warlord Kang. It's a sizable settlement, but it's also ruled by Red Petal Sioux, whom I believe you guys shot down when she was attacking the Good Intentions while you guys were on your way to Los Angeles. there could very well be information there, but it's going to be very heavily defended, and from my understanding, it's very isolationist. Those are the two ideas I have, as poor as they are. If you have another method that you can use to possibly suss out the location of the Alliance, I highly recommend it. Beyond that, I think this is going to be your best bet. Find the Necessity Alliance and seize far ahead. Obtain the information that you need from him, and then track down the rest of those symbols. I have a feeling they will be very important to the future of the maze. But I do recommend resting first. It is already heading towards dinner.
That's probably a great idea. Reconvene tomorrow. Give us a chance to think on it.
And please feel free to discuss it amongst yourselves.
Some of us need the rest.
I need to run a few errands, and Mr. Dillinger will be coming with me. So feel free to use the suite as your own. I've already ordered dinner for you in the hopes that you guys were going to be back today. And it should be arriving shortly.
How long did it take us to get back?
8 hours. It was just before 7 a.m. when you guys left Auntie's house.
Did I find anything as I was searching around under the...
Go ahead and give me a notice check.
You forgot that I was doing that. Notice, notice, notice. There it is. Probably not enough, but
Let me see here.
Force is a success. You found something.
A 4 is indeed a success. And as you're looking around, you notice that on the bookshelf nearby, there is a book that just kind of stands out to you. It probably because it says Book of Games on it. Ooh. Somebody's racing.
say who hit what button.
That's just
Sounds
people
like it.
outside. That's just I live on the street. There's a whole lot of people wearing their penis in their cars. And if that's one of you out there, I apologize for your poor life choices. You can file any complaints to the Knights of the Smith Dinner Table X account and send James all the things that you would like to say.
I will happily share them on air.
I'll take it and put it in my book bag, my backpack.
Are you being sneaky about it, or
Is anyone paying any attention to me?
I'm not really.
Honestly, we're probably still mid-conversation.
I would say they're all talking, and no one ever pays any attention to me.
give me a thievery roll at +2?
What? What?
Thievery.
Oh,
You have it.
thievery. I guess I don't need to know what thievery does. I just need to roll. Mm,
I mean, it does pretty much what it says.
It's your ability to yoink undetected.
So with the +2, that is definitely a success, but not a raise, as you get a total of 6. And
on.
yeah, you
Hold on. Where are you getting 6?
That was her notice check.
I forgot to do the
looked at the wrong
+2.
thing. I thought that was the thievery. Okay, you did get a raise.
I
2,
I didn't do the
actually.
+2, so it's a 12.
So as you were sliding it very quietly into your backpack, this book says it's got some guy's name on it. Hoyle, Edmund Hoyle's Book of Games.
I don't care who wrote it.
Yeah,
Games
but
are fun. I like games. Maybe Chuck will play some games with me.
possibly, very possibly. And apparently, this is the 1780 to 1800 edition.
That's a long time ago. It's probably yucky games. That's okay. I need something to do. So
You do need something to do, something to take your mind off of things.
what do I have to on my mind?
I say
I mean,
besides Mark.
that's valid. That's valid.
There's nothing wrong. So,
All right.
I didn't find anything fun though. Searching.
I mean, you got a book of card games now.
But I have to learn them, and
You
I don't know. Cole doesn't seem like much fun to play cards with, and Chuck's not really excited to play with me most of the time anymore. And Starlet just, I don't know. I don't know about that one. And this new guy,
He looks kind of creepy.
yeah, but Dada always said not to be mean to people because they were ugly. They can't help ugly. They what was his saying? Something about trees and ugly branches. But I don't remember it. So maybe I'll give him a chance. And we probably should go check on Chuck. I'm gonna go tell Cole that.
Okay.
Hey Cole. Hey
Yes,
Cole.
Daisy. Daisy. Yes, Daisy.
Cole. I think we should probably go check on Chuck. He's been out there a long time, all by himself.
It's been what?
Maybe
20
an
minutes?
hour.
Maybe an hour. How about we check on him after dinner?
Not gonna lie, it's the most quiet he's had since he's met Daisy.
But Cole, I think he might be lonely. I think
He's
he
got
misses
company.
me.
You gave him that bear.
I told him we were going to find a bear. I made that happen.
We'll
He
go
didn't
down
believe
and
me though.
check on him after dinner, Daisy. He needs to rest now.
Maybe I want to go out and sleep in the wagon.
Now, why would you want to do that?
I'm just going to start crying.
And strangely, no matter how hard you cry, how hard you sob, the tears never physically come.
That's
The
okay.
feelings are there, but the tears never come.
That's okay. I
Oh, so
still
she's
cry.
faking it. She's obviously faking it. She's not that upset. It's fine.
And as you're sitting there and you're lost in your emotions, Daisy, give me a vigor test with a -4.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Figure, there it is. You said -4.
Correct. You
Uh-oh.
gonna stand on that one?
Yeah.
Okay. So as she is sitting there just sobbing, the next thing you know, she goes silent. And when you look over at her, she is asleep.
That's odd. I mean, I get that she's probably tired because, it's a small child. Well, I guess I will, is she just on the floor or,
Yeah, right now she's just on the floor.
I guess I will carry her to one of the beds and tuck her in.
Take her to her room.
Yeah.
Her and Charles's room.
We didn't share a room. That's no.
Dinner goes peacefully for you guys. And eventually you all retire. And
Do I just sleep through the whole dinner?
yeah, you did. And then we go to Charles. Charles, the last thing you remember as you claw your way up from a very, very tiresome sleep is that bitch who called herself Daisy's aunt just absolutely wrecking you. And as your eyes flutter open, you realize you're in the dark. And I believe that you do. You have some matches in your pocket still. And it's very, very tight confines where you're at, and it's very dark. And you smell what smells like raw meat.
That bitch buried me. So I'm gonna pull out, strike one of my matches.
As you do, you realize where you are pretty quickly. You're actually in the ice box of your wagon. And the reason you know it's your ice box is because your head is laying on top of one of the blocks of ice. It not that cold though. Doesn't feel cold at all to you. And as you look down, resting on your chest and stomach is the skull of a bear.
Well, let's scramble the hell out of that as I drop the match because that's terrifying. Come scrambling out.
And as you do, the bear skull falls on the ground next to you, and you're looking around, and you're like, this place is familiar. And then you realize you're in the underground stables of the hotel. You're not sure why they put you in the ice box, but and you look down, and where that gaping chest wound was, you've just got a scar. So you had to be out for days, possibly even weeks. But you're still in the same smelly clothes.
Must have been running a fever. Probably explains why I'm not been cold.
And let me advance the time a little bit for the time period that you woke up. As you're looking around, dawn is starting to break. You can see that through the doors and the few small windows. And you hear people up above making racket. And then you hear a gasp from behind you.
Turn around.
And you see Dillinger standing there looking shocked. And he's like, "You were dead, sir."
That doesn't seem very likely considering I'm alive.
No, I'm sure of it. I checked on you last night before I went out with Captain Smythe. Do you mind? May I? And he holds out his hand like he wants to hold your hand for something.
Oh, I reach out, shake it. So Smythe made it back from the bear hunt. How's he doing?
As you reach out and you're starting to say that, he grabs you by the wrist, flips your hand so it's palm up, and drags a knife right across your palm. And rather than bleeding, rather than feeling like this sharp, absolutely destructive pain that you would expect, you barely felt that. And rather than bleeding like you would expect, just this kind of black, tarry substance that looks vaguely like it could be blood. As I said, sir, you are dead.
How is this possible?
I am not sure, but I fear that you and Daisy suffer from the same condition.
Daisy's alive?
I wouldn't call it alive.
Why didn't you lead with the important things, Dillinger? Where is
I
she?
wanted to make sure you were in control first, if you were getting back up.
I'm always in control.
That may have been true once, but people with your condition don't always have control of themselves anymore.
That doesn't
And
make
sadly,
sense.
you were going to find yourself having to deal with two of your kind. I fear young Miss Landry will be easily cowed by the being that has resurrected her.
Wait, that obviously that being does not know Daisy. There's no stopping that. I've tried.
Be that as it may, both of you are sharing your body with demons. You are what we call harrowed.
And this whole time, I've walked out with the bear skull. And I've been absent-mindedly picking the meat from it and just eating it raw while he's talking to me.
I think you'll find that meat, no matter how fresh or desiccated, will be the only thing that you will crave. And all other types of food will no longer provide sustenance. I am guessing that when they put you in the ice box, that bear skull had its entirety of the skin that it normally would have, and meat.
Well, I put it in there before we ran off to go get Daisy. So yeah, and looked down at the skull because I was going to show Daisy that I killed the bear. And oh,
Your body has absorbed all of the meat from the skull.
That means I can't even taste my own cooking anymore?
That would be valid.
This is bullshit.
Your senses are going to not be the same that they were. There is one man I know who can help you, but I'm not sure if he's in the maze at this time. But if I see him, I will send him your way.
Yeah, but Daisy's alive. Daisy's okay.
Daisy is harrowed like yourself.
Yeah. But she's still with us. Good.
She is indeed still with you and apparently still in control.
Excellent. Where is she?
Sleeping upstairs.
All right. And I just start walking away.
Be mindful that your friends who saw you die might get a bit of a shock seeing you up and about.
Yeah. I'm sure they will be just fine. Everybody likes me. I'm likable, Dillinger.
To be fair, so is young Miss Landry.
Precisely.
Even with all of her foibles. That stare.
And he just... I don't understand what foie gras has to do with anything, but okay.
I did manage to place something that will hopefully grab her attention. Her lineage has a lot of promise behind it. See to it that you can help her see her full potential.
If that... Sure, Dillinger. Sure. Just starts muttering like just cryptic nonsense. Just speak plainly as he walks away.
He doffs his hat to you and then he walks out the stable doors, out into town.
Never understood those Brits and their ways. Always so secretive.
So where are you going to go?
I'm going straight to Daisy's room, realizing that if I can't taste and things don't feel right, this is going to be a very interesting existence.
Well, it doesn't take you long to get up there. And as you open the door to her room, you see her clutching that same doll that she found at the side of the train wreck all those weeks ago. And she lifts her head up, and Daisy, you see Charles standing in the door to your room. As you come awake, rather suddenly even. Is she there?
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump up and run over to him and give him a big hug and tell him everything that's been happening. Because how long has it been since he's been here?
It's been about a day.
Almost a full day.
Okay. I have so much to tell you, Chuck. There's this new person and then this other new person, and they all just think that they know
Starla and
everything.
Jeb. Yeah.
No,
Jeb was kind
I
of
don't
like
know.
that.
I think Jeb maybe got scared and ran away.
Did you scare Jeb?
I don't know. I'm not scary. I'm just a kid. I don't do scary things.
Well, I mean, did you like jump out and yell surprise or something like that?
No. Chuck, would I do that?
Yes, you've done it to me several times.
Well, I didn't do it to him because I don't know him.
Okay.
And I think I think maybe Cole's mentioned that he decided to go jump into the river at the bottom of that big hill next to Auntie's house, who maybe wasn't really Auntie, um, but like I don't know. Anyway, I think some scary guy is gonna join us. I think he's supposed to be going with us now, and I. Do you
Scary.
like playing cards?
I would love to play some cards with you, Daisy, as soon as we get everything figured out here.
Oh,
Because you're good. And I'm like, I've been like looking her over this whole time.
With the, I mean, at this point, she is also still in the same clothes, so she still has that big rip in her shirt, and you can see the scar where her heart had been ripped out of her.
Oh, you need a bath, young lady, and put on some clean clothes.
I'm clean, Chuck. I
No,
don't have to take a bath. Like,
no, you do.
do I have to wash my hair? Because
Yes,
I don't want to wash my hair. And water gets in my eyes, and I don't like that, Chuck.
it's if you don't wash your hair, you're going to get bugs, and then we're going to have to shave it.
Okay.
Okay, that's your choice. You can choose to get bugs and walk around bald, and look like a little boy.
If I do a bath, will you play cards with me
Yes,
after?
yes, because I need one also because I smell like.
I didn't want to say anything, but you look pretty bad, Chuck.
I feel pretty bad. I thought you were dead, and I tried to save you, and I didn't.
Chuck, why would I be dead?
Well, there's that whole your heart was in her hand thing, and
I think that was just a bad dream.
now apparently we've got demons riding in us. And wait, get this.
Oh,
Dillinger seems to think that like you're gonna lose control. And I was like, well, if some demon made a deal with Daisy, they're never gonna understand what they just got themselves into. Because
do you mean Bart?
wait, who's Bart?
I don't like Bart.
I don't know who Bart is. Is Bart the new guy?
I don't know. Let's go get that bath.
And we are not being quiet. Like right in the doorway, just loudly talking.
Starla's passed out. She's still got 2 wounds.
Stanley is not even in the hotel at this point. He's down in the stagecoach with the back bench flipped over backwards at his little workbench, tweaking on a device that legitimately looks like a mason jar, and there's little sparks that seem to be just rotating at odd intervals inside of the jar, and he's tweaking it ever so slightly and idly reaching over and eating these what looks like maybe a bowl of just like your traditional tortilla chips. Absentmindedly, he'll pick one up and he'll dip it in what looks like salsa, but sprinkled on the top of it are little gray flecks. And every once in a while, he grabs a little shaker and adds more to the top of the salsa bowl.
Somebody's trying to blackline before blacklining existed.
Yep. And yeah, so it's bath time for her.
Makes you better.
Bath time for Charles and Daisy, then cards.
I say, as an aside, I had the almost exact same conversation with my 3-year-old before we started playing tonight about a bath.
Yep. It's as if I have children and have done this a time or two.
Right?
Maybe.
Thankfully, I didn't have to have that conversation with the 14-year-old today. His other father did that while I took his mother to the grocery store.
Excellent.
All right. So Daisy and Charles are sitting there playing a card game, with Daisy trying to piece it together from the book.
Do they have cards?
I'm pretty sure Daisy does.
I don't think I do. I have a baby doll.
You do, but there's cards sitting around the room because Dillinger really likes to play solitaire.
I was gonna say, because I have a deck of cards. But I'm also
Now
asleep.
Daisy has a deck of cards. Sorry, Dillinger.
And Dillinger walks in, quickly followed by Smythe. And Smythe, while he raises his eyebrow, doesn't mention your current living impaired status. He just nods once, heads over, sits down. Dillinger's like, breakfast has been ordered. Hopefully the others will be joining us soon.
Glad to see you made it back from the bear.
Indeed. I was rather hard pressed to keep up with you.
I was a bit incensed at the moment.
Understandable. And I'm happy to see that young Miss Landry is back with us.
Are we bathed?
Yes.
Do I have clean clothes on?
Yes.
Are they girly clothes or are they pants?
Probably pants, because you haven't traveled with girly clothes at all.
Okay.
And I'm assuming by this point I'm hearing their voices, so I kind of stir awake and stumble out.
Hey, Cole, we got demons.
Guts check.
Yep.
Hold on, I'll throw the thing out in the chat.
Yeah.
That is just the best way to handle that too.
Oh, I need to pull you out here so I can target you.
Yep.
All right. Here it comes. And I have to unhide it because for some reason it likes to hide the fear check thing.
Yep.
I see it.
There you go, Cole.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Do I fish for the crit fail?
Yes. Yes, you do.
Jody would demand
Yes.
it.
Yes. We'll spend a Benny on it.
In the honor of Jody, you passed.
Whew.
You managed to hold your own for a moment. It was iffy there for
Yeah.
a second. But you hold your own and you managed to walk over and have a seat at the table. And that was an odd way for him to start the day.
Yeah.
We have demons. And as you say that, Dillinger looks over at you and says, I would not go around announcing that publicly. Witch hunts are indeed still a thing.
Oh, we're not witches, though.
True, but
The
you
ant
are,
was a witch.
you are people that they would not understand and thus be lumped in with witches. Anything that the general populace doesn't understand, they tend to treat it as they used to treat witches in Salem.
Gotcha. I will not tell everyone.
That is probably a wise decision.
That's not going to work out well for you, Chuck.
I don't know what you're talking about. No more demon stock. Right, Daisy? We don't have demons. What are demons anyway?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, same.
Stanley comes around the corner into the room at this point and hears the what are demons anyway and just launches into the current academic answer to that question based on his studies.
And about that time, Starla comes wandering into the room and stops dead in her tracks.
And click on that fear check for me.
And as Charles looks at Starla for the first time since coming back to life, he goes, oh, well, this is bullshit.
To make a resistance roll, first select one token.
Oh, I need to drop your token out there.
Yeah, you need to pull everybody out.
And then he looks back at the dude and goes,
There you go.
Thank you.
"What happened to your face?"
So am I making a fear check as well there?
Nope.
Okay.
Because you have no idea who this is.
Got it.
And for all intents and purposes, he looks just fine. Because with my free horrid feat, I took Death Mask.
Stanley does not. Stanley looks the way Charles deserves to look.
Right. That's why Charles looked at Stanley was like, "What happened to your face?"
Stanley immediately, as just without missing a beat, goes right from the definition. Oh, well, the ghost rock, it burns at a far more intense heat than coal, and
Yeah, coal runs pretty cold.
We weren't informed of this prior to my first attempt, and the left eyebrow it's never come back. And well, I mean, then there's the hand, and he lifts up what can really only be described as like it's wood and gears and maybe some piping.
Does that work?
And he has full dexterity of it as he, well, yeah. And he just kind of moves his hand in front of his face.
That's fantastic for you. Because with a face like that, you're going to need something that feels like somebody else is tugging.
Okay, right there's the reason Starla passed her fear check.
Oh. And as breakfast ensues, Charles and Daisy seem to only have a taste for the meat. And it does seem like both of their plates have an extra helping of meat. You're not sure what the meat is, but it is meat. And as you guys begin to discuss what comes next, that's where we'll pick up in 2 weeks. Thanks for watching, everybody. And I don't always have a cliffhanger. This is one of those rare instances where I don't, and I apologize, but don't forget.
It's nice to end the episode like on a natural ending point. It's comforting. I'm glad to be back.
With everybody alive, quote unquote.
Don't worry. It's going to get worse.
Oh, I'm sure.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
He just realized, seeing Starla, that things aren't working like they should. This is bullshit. But yeah, close us out, James.
Thanks for watching and or listening, everyone. And we'll be back in 2 weeks. I would say if you're going to GaryCon, come and see us. But when this episode airs, we'll have already been there and back. So hopefully we got to meet you, and hopefully you got your own copy of our official Knights of the Smith Dinner Table Benny. Other than that, we'll see you next time. And remember, keep it savage, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
This actual play podcast references the Savage Worlds game system and the Deadlands Weird West Savage setting, both of which are available from Pinnacle Entertainment Group at www.peginc.com. It is unofficial media content permitted under the Media Network Consent Agreement. This content is not managed, approved, or endorsed by Pinnacle Entertainment Group. Certain portions of the materials used are the intellectual property of Pinnacle, and all rights are reserved. Savage Worlds, all related settings, and unique characters, locations, logos, and trademarks are all copyright of Pinnacle Entertainment Group. Tales from the Deadlands, Knights of the Smith Dinner Table, and all of its logos are property of Knightsmith Games, LLC. For more information, head to www.knightsofthesmithdinnertable.com.